It's that lovely time of the year here in Canada where really you should probably have turned on the furnace by now, but that's kind of like admitting that summer's over. So instead you break out the sweaters. I like sweaters. I'll comment before I get started. I had a couple of comments with regard to the struggles I was having with measuring the internal resistance of the cells. A couple of people mentioned check your batteries. I didn't quite know what they meant. It's a built-in lithium-ion battery. But then Ray posted a comment saying if the battery is low, the readings will be inaccurate. So thank you for that. I have charged the charger back up. I have not yet tested it. I'm not going to in this video because at the end of the day, I'm still starting to think the worry about internal resistance is probably not that important. I may still go through and measure them when they hit top charge, but that'll be later if I do. The second comment was the QR scanner. Someone mentioned that in the latest update, you can just go scan, 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 and it saves them in a list that you can download as a comma-separated list. That's fantastic. Makes it far more likely that I'm going to do that. But again, not in this video. What I really want to get done soon, now we're coming into fall, I'm going to lose a lot of my ideal sun. I really want to get these batteries wired up. After they're wired up, they'll start charging off the solar, however slow that takes, but at least now the power from the solar panels has somewheres to go. So my first goal for today is to assemble the first pack, validate that mounting the BMS the way I was thinking will work to get rid of one of those joints, and then run the negative cable out to the Anderson connector so that I have that done, see if I like the length, there we go. With that done, I am going to create the long cable to go to the bus bars. Before I actually connect the bus bars, and I'll do this part off camera, PowerPaul posted in one of my community posts that he suggested taking the top bus bar and moving it out. You'll see what I mean later when I do it. The idea is that if a cable comes off, if I'm unscrewing it and it falls, it should fall clear of the bus bar that's below. The other thing I'm a little bit nervous about, and I'm going to find out in a couple minutes whether it's really a problem, is now that the posts are spaced further out on these new cells, I'm a little concerned about the flexibility I have with my flexible bus bars. So that's going to be something we're going to see. It'd be fine doing a U shape, but at some point, because there's going to be a wall on either side of the cells, I can't have it always go, say, to the right or all to the left, because it'll bump up to the box. So at some point, I'm going to have the U's. At some point, the bus bars are going to go like this. And you can see how far apart the terminals are. That's further than the batteries. So I'm a little nervous about how that's going to resolve itself. I put a lot of work into these. I'm going to find a way to make them work. That is something I'm concerned about and something I have to figure out on the first assembly. So let's get started. 15 bus bars. All right, is my head cut off? Yep, my head's cut off. This is battery A for anyone who's watching from home and keeping track. Hey, Tatters. You coming to suffer my sniffles? Hey, buddy? You say hi, YouTube? Very soon you're not going to be wanting to be around here, okay? Can I go back to building now? Sorry, buddy. I need to get back to work. I want to build a battery. You have no idea yet, but all of this, means that one day you're going to get to sit on the top of the boat and watch the birdies and the fish. Let's see if I can keep you here for a little bit longer. This is obviously not going to be a clean build. I'm not torquing anything down. This is just get it fired up to see that I'm happy with my plan before I build the rest of the Anderson connectors. Oh, you're gonna fall, buddy. Before I build the rest of the Anderson connectors, because these are really expensive and I want to know they're going to work before I commit to them. Even if I think this one's a bit short, well, I don't know. I'll figure it out. These leads are not very long. I'm a little bit worried that the lead before the battery was like this, so the lead popped out, went right back. I don't know if going sideways, it's going to reach the back of the battery. The balance leads, that is. Well, best way to find out is to just do it. Yeah, it's so short that, well, yeah, it's sticking out a bit. I wonder, why don't I get you in closer? So I just had an idea. I wonder if I can take these wires, instead of naturally curving them like that, can I sort of do a U shape, an M shape, or whatever you want to call it? Yeah, you know what? That's going to be okay. Woo! That's a big relief. It'll look silly, but it's only for the first row. If I had run the first bus bar pointing in so that it didn't bump up against what will become the wall of the battery, the next one, where did I put it? Sorry. The next one would have to go like this, and you can see how they're interfering. I mean, I'm sure I could probably interleave them or figure something out, but what I just did here, I mean, it looks a bit gnarly, but it should still be able to carry the same amount of current. Come on, no, focus on that, please. Thank you. You can see how the flexible bus bar is almost flush with the cell. If I do keep the 2mm neoprene foam like I had before, which I'm leaning towards, that will space these two cells out just a wee bit, and I'll have some padding here. It's just because these new battery terminals are much more outboard. The old ones used to be right about here, so I would have been spanning this distance and it would have been more of a straight shot. But we got to work with what we have, and that's what I'm doing. And really, it's just 3 connectors, because the top one's going to be able to go in like that and then across. Yeah, so it's only 3 connectors that are going to get a little kerfangled. Again, it ain't pretty, but who's going to see it except for me? And I'll know why I did it, so I won't sit there and go, why did that dumbass do that way? That's weird. Okay, I'm going to finish wiring it up, and then I'll see what kind of slack I'm dealing with. I don't know if this layout is going to work unless I do something silly like that. But then it's not symmetrical, and that makes me sad. Okay, whatever. Finish wiring it up, then solve a problem. Don't try to solve 2 problems at once. It never works. All right, and here comes the limiting cable. This is going to decide how much reach I don't have. This is A05 positive, yep. Oh, something's gone wrong. What have I done wrong? 5, 5, 6, 6, 8. I jumped 7. Ah, perfect example of why I love putting labels on everything. I put 8 on 7, and I was going to put 7 on 8. Now we're looking better. Labels on all the things, ladies, gentlemen, and others. Oh my god, it is so nice to finally be wiring these up. Hey! Kitty McScratcher-Doodles. Come on, go back there. Oh, there's my helping hands. That would have been really useful last week. I thought I had lost that thing. Problems you don't have if you keep your house clean. This is 12 positive, the other distal cable. As always, I expect the first pack is going to take me by far the longest to get set up. I expect the other 5 packs will go together a lot faster because I won't be thinking, I'll just be doing. I slow when I shink. What are you shinking about? Ow! What was I feeling? Was something giving me a shock? That was weird. I felt a buzzing. I don't see anything, but I felt something. Okay, well, whatever. Last flexible bus bar. And this will now tell me how much slack I have. I'm not plugging this in because I don't want to blow the BMS. That's not entirely unusable. It's kind of gross. Yeah, okay, that's tolerable. And this one goes to my switch. Multimeter time. Actually, first, okay, that's off. So this is dead. But I have to be mindful now, this is a complete battery. So that's currently off because this switch is off, but I should now be getting 48 volts across here. So let's check that. I'm sorry, I don't think you can see this, but you've seen me do this enough times. 52.46. Okay, so that's looking good. That's actually higher than I expected. Should be 51.2. This is such an annoying task. 3.27, 52.46. Okay, these are good. Let's plug them into the BMS. All right. Did you see what I did? I'm glad that battery switch was off because I just tapped the negative to the positive. I'm just gonna turn you this way. Keep you nice and safe. Thankfully the BMS is off, so it's not connected, and the switch is off, so it wasn't connected, but come on, Maddie, don't be so dumb. I shouldn't need the screen to wake this up, so I'm gonna do one thing at a time. First, let's just use the simple display adapter, assuming I can. Now, I believe they said that this goes into the GPS port. Wait, this is a 6-pin connector. This doesn't work on this BMS at all, because of course it doesn't. It works on the 4. Well, adapter city, here we come. This does not plug into the GPS port. I don't know what these two say. Definitely too small for that one, so it only fits into the center one. Okay, so that's in. This goes through the first adapter, to the second adapter, to the very long wire. And the switch is dangling off of this to this. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the Gkong app. Oh, it booted. I had to press and hold it for a bit. And there it is. Beat to beat to beat. Cell count is not equal. That's normal. Settings. Verify. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cell count is 16. Capacity is 280. Okay, I'm not going to change anything else. Andy has a much more thorough review of what all these values mean and what they should be set to. Oh, did I get the 150 amp discharge? Yeah, these might be the 150 amps. Fine for what I'm doing. Yes, they are the 150 amp because the switch, or the Anderson connector is rated for 175 and I didn't want to overdo it. Oh, the delta voltage is 0.04. 0.005. That's very close match. I'm impressed. Sweet as. Charge off, discharge off. Yep, that's exactly what I want. Let's go back to the list. And I'm going to change this right now to BMSA. Please restart software. Okay. Not quite sure why it needs that, but so be it. I'm going to be doing that a bunch more times. There we go. The old BMS is the old battery. I used to call it BMS 1, but I just called it old BMS so I know the difference. That's it. First battery's built. Mostly. I got on the call, so I didn't film cleaning up the cables. Let me get you in closer so you can see what I'm doing. I really don't like this just floating in the breeze. Even though this is disconnected, it's making me super nervous, especially now that the BMS is powered up. Actually, I should power it back down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let go. Okay, so pressing for 5 seconds and let it go seems to have shut it down. I haven't put the shrink tubing on this yet. I will do all the shrink tubing later. Right now I just need to figure out a length. And what I need to do is to go from here. I don't like how this doesn't sit square. I don't like that it's at an angle. That's gonna bug me, but thankfully I won't see it. I know you can't see me, but I figure it's more interesting to see what's going on here. So this is gonna go like this. This is gonna come out like this. Actually, why don't I just crimp this on right now? This will be all shrink wrapped and protected in the final assembly. Let's say about here. So you see how there's that little lip as opposed to the bump? That sharper edge is what grabs inside of the connector. I'm pointing that out because it doesn't really matter which one is in which orientation, I don't believe. The wire I already had made has the hard edge pointing up, so I'm going to crimp this one so that the hard edge is pointing up. And I'm going to strip this to about here. So you know what? I'm going to notch this. And then I'm going to take this off because this will be a lot easier to crimp if this isn't connected. Get that on there. Oh, it's not nearly as deep as I thought. I have some slack, so I might cut off the excess. I stripped off 33 millimeters, which is a little more than 1.25 inches, or too much by 5 millimeters. Oh, that's perfect. It's bottoming out and just barely a gap. In the future, strip 29 millimeters or 1 1/8 inches. So now that that's right. Okay, in hindsight, doing this end first and then setting this would probably be easier. That should do it. So that puts the flat in line with the print. I just want this, I want that flat lined up with that flat, with the barrel being in the same alignment as the hard edge. That wasn't so hard. I know you can't really see this on camera, I'm sorry. Some days it just feels clumsy. Some days it feels really smooth, some days it's really clumsy. Today is a clumsy day. And I don't think it matters, but I'm going from the very end and working my way back, mostly because I was worried about some air being caught inside of the barrel, and when I pulled it forward, creating air pressure in there. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but at least that explains my thought process of starting at the very end and crimping backwards. All right. It's flared along the edge a fair bit, but meh, seems fine. It doesn't matter whether one side is source and one side is load. They're the same on both sides. They will just snap together, but don't do it dry or you won't get them apart. Negative is on that side. There's the positive done. You know what, even if I'm not gonna do the shrink tubing right away, I'm gonna put shrink tubing over it. This is gonna be energized and that's gonna be energized, and these two here to here would be a dead short. So that's gotta be insulated as well, but I'll do that later. So long as one side is insulated, it'll be okay. I want 8 centimeters. This is the 25 millimeter wide or the 1 inch wide. And then I'm gonna take 3 1/8 or 8 centimeter long snip. Again, all of this will be done the right way later. There. It's not perfect, but at least now it's protected. I forgot to cut this first. Damn it! I gotta pull all this apart. I'll put the boots on later, another time. I don't need the boots now. So the next thing I need to do, and I'm gonna do this off camera, is I'm gonna make a little standoff for that top bus bar, so that it sits out from the bottom one. This is Power Paul's suggestion. I may put a little skirt or something, I haven't decided yet, but the idea is if I'm unscrewing or unbolting the top one and it drops, it won't hit the bottom one if this is out some. So this is totally OSHA approved, but it'll do the job. You can see how it's standing off now, which means that flap is going to sit above the other wires. Ain't pretty, but it works. So now that I've got that sorted out, I think I'm happy with that length. I'll probably batch this out. Actually, you know what I'll do first? I'm going to make this cable to run to there, and I know it'll be shorter for these ones, but I want them all to be roughly the same length. I'm going to make that cable first, and then with that length and with this length, I can batch out the other 5. You know, when I bought this, what is it, 100 feet? Yeah, 100 feet of 4 gauge. I was kind of thinking to myself, you know, I'll probably never use it. I think I'm going to use it very easily. It doesn't have to be super accurate, but I do want to keep it shorter if I can. I'm going to say that length should do. I'm pretty sure this is the right length, but I'm still going to crimp this before I commit to the other 5. These are so long, I'm not going to worry about the alignment because it's more easy to take up any kind of twist that might be there. And I think I said 38 millimeters last time. Actually, I don't have to try to remember how much to cut off. I have calipers. 27 millimeters. Lucky. And there's got to be an easier way to do this. I guess for consistency, I've got the sharp edge of the blade up, and this is sitting flat, following the natural curve. Does it really matter? No, probably not, but at least I'll be consistent as I do most of them. Okay, positive cable done. There. Just need to do that 20 more times. First, battery Anderson to bus bar. Well, first of this build. Obviously we did it last time. So for no good reason, I'm going to make the top positive and the bottom negative. One of the things I'll do when I do the sea trials is run everything at absolutely max load for as long as I can and keep an eye on how much things warm up. Huzzah! Now, you can't even see what I'm doing, can you? This will be the first fully connected battery. Okay, so this is off. That switch is open. There we go. If I turn on the BMS and close that switch, the bus bar energizes. That's the first battery done. Well, I mean, done for this rickety setup. You know what? I'm going to put some insulation over that right now. That's making me nervous. I don't like having a big live thing just dangling in the wind. 13 centimeters, 5 1/4 inches is the way to go. I hope I have enough of this. Now I've got to pop that off. Come on. Why are you being difficult? I know why it's being difficult. The resin lining. There we go. That makes me feel slightly less janky. That's some protection, that's some protection. I think I'm happy with that length. I think I'm very happy with that length. I really imagine you guys must be sick of watching me make cables. So maybe I'll turn off the camera, turn on some music. I'm gonna cut and crimp all of the Anderson connectors. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. Be right back. So I thought I was gonna be picking this up tomorrow. Tomorrow was over a week ago. Sorry about that, life happens. So off camera, I have made the Anderson connectors that goes to the main disconnect switch and the BMS, and from the bus bar. And, okay, I was hoping that would just go together, but I'm not that coordinated. After I finished crimping all of these Anderson connectors, the next night, at like 4 in the morning, I woke up because my arm was so sore. Piece of advice I would give to past me and future anybody who might be doing a project like this. Milwaukee sells it's a drill attachment, or it's a tool that does these types of heavy battery ring terminal crimping. I thought, this is fine. Yeah, $85 instead of buying another tool, especially because I've got Makita batteries and all that stuff. And I thought, I'm not gonna buy one Milwaukee tool. This will be fine. This was fine. My arms just died. So yes, if you're thinking of doing this, buy the good crimper. I've laid out everything in front of the packs, but it's very, well, as organized as crap on the floor can be. And I feel bad pushing it out of the way, but I need to be able to reach this. Oh, that's easier. One good Unga Dunga should be good enough for this. And yes, I know I'm beating the hell out of the back of my wall. You can probably tell in the background there's a lot of scratches and whatnot. And I'm kind of over this pink color, so when this project's over, I'm repainting. When I was trying to decide what length to make these, obviously they had to be long enough for what I'm doing right now, but I was also trying to think about where the bus bar is going to go in the engine bay and where the batteries will be, and made sure I had enough length for that. This is going to add some resistance, of course, but wish these boxes were just a little bit wide. You know, I had wider boxes, the ones that the cylinder cells came in. I wish I had saved those. Those would have fit this perfectly. Oh well. Hindsight is 20/20, as they say. And that's exactly why, there we go. Oop, that's exactly why I wanted to keep the cardboard on here. I won't lie. Hooking up these cables feels pretty badass. Oh, what a thing. What a thing we have built. Ah. Oh, are you kidding me? I am the most coordinated human on the planet. Trying to lean over like this without falling and not wanting to put too much weight on this, it's a great leg workout. This is definitely not skipping leg day. Oh, what a monster. What I'm doing down here, and you might have seen me do it up here, is I'm putting my thumb underneath the wire so that when I wrench down, it wants to rotate, and that just kind of helps keep it in place. There. Y'all, this looks so cool. Oh my God. All right, I'm gonna bring you in so you can get a better view of this, but I wanna line up the cables so it looks a bit prettier first. I don't regret putting this here, but man, it would look a lot cooler if that wasn't there and you just saw all 12 of them dropping down. Battery A, B, C, D, E, F. All right, cool as that is, I think I need to hang those up somewhere. Yep, that works. Yeah, the cable harnessing on the boat is going to be quite the challenge, and I am so looking forward to it. So same thing as before, I'm going to expose one battery at a time. Let's get to it. I should like to mention something. If you ever meet me in person or we're chatting or something and you very kindly give me a compliment and I seem to lock up and don't say anything, it's not that I'm being pretentious or whatever. I'm just, yeah, I don't know how to take compliments. I really appreciate them, but I don't know how to take them. So I say this because I was talking to somebody just a few minutes ago and they made some very kind comments and I didn't know how to respond, so I made jokes instead. I'm sure it came off as incredibly ungrateful or whatever. I'm just socially awkward. I mean, look what I do for a hobby, of course I am. I was really curious after building the first pack where I had to put these in, tighten them down, and then put the connectors on. I very much prefer having them welded on. And I was always very worried that as I was torquing these down, first of all, I had to find the right size Allen key, or hex nut as it ended up being in my case. But it was two places that could strip out. So having these laser welded on, definitely the way to go. Oh, balls. Did you see what I was doing there? I was connecting the battery leads with the BMS still plugged in. That was not smart. I mean, I don't think I did anything wrong, so it should be fine, but that was not smart. Okay, well anyway, let's continue. Gotta stay in the habit of checking my labels when I'm putting things together. Today's only a Thursday, but man, it feels like a Friday. Wish I could take tomorrow off. Oh well. That was apropos of absolutely nothing. Battery 7, battery 8. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ah, second time. That's the second time having a label saved me from making a mistake. Right, that's battery 8. Battery 8. Guess which balance lead I just put on battery 7 after checking and realizing I made a mistake. Balance 8. I was about to put 7 on 8. Can it please be the weekend now? Please? Please? I really do love labels. They're a pain in the butt to print and apply. But the number of times they have saved me from myself, I could not count. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how, as I connect one battery and then a second battery and so on, how they're going to try to transfer power between each other. Oh, and some people mentioned your necklace is dangling right over the battery terminals. It is epoxy covered over whatever was used for the shape. There is no exposed metal whatsoever. Though I do appreciate the concern. 49, 52.47. That's good. So now I'm going to do a little bit of cable dressing. In my job in servers, I love using these 3M. They're really, really, really flat Velcro strips with an eyelet in them, so you can actually run the tail through the eye, and that gives you a purchase to pull it nice and tight. And I find that it doesn't slide up and down the cables and stuff. Absolutely love these things for cable management. Once the balance leads start doubling back, I find I need to use a lot more Velcro, which is why there's a big jump. Just don't need them further down the harness. There. A semi-manageable mess. Now, let's connect this. Now I need my 11 meter back. 11 meter. That would be a spanner. 11 meter? I'm sure one exists somewhere. My 11 millimeter spanner. Negative side is done. Wow, it's been almost an hour on one battery, and I have 4 more to do. I'm not going to make you watch that. This is ruining my hope that I was going to get this video out tomorrow, Friday. Oh well, big projects get finished when they get finished. And that's just the way it is, and there's no sense fighting it. Now, the adapter collection from hell. Okay, and this plugs in here. That's in. Oh, these wires are so delicate. Already checked that. The voltage was good. Main pack negative. This main disconnect is off. Let's turn on battery number 2. It's alive. All right, main pack negative, 52.48. What have I got on this battery? 52.45. So very similar. There shouldn't be a huge amperage transfer. Now, let's start up the app and rename the BMS. This is BMSB, battery stuff, Qigong. So choose that one. Doot. Actually, let's get it configured properly and then I'll rename it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Change that to 16. Change that to 280. I want to make sure it's set to lithium iron phosphate. There it is. Status, 52.17 volts. Right. Now, how do I rename it? Here, modify name, BMS. B. I don't think that's enough. I have to actually go in and go to app info, force stop, okay, restart it. Now it works. That's kludgy. It's very kludgy, but anyways. Second battery done. I'm going to turn it off now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now it's off. Excellent! 2 batteries done. 4 more to go. I am not going to make you watch that for the rest of the video because that's going to get real bloody boring. I think maybe I'll build 1 more battery, see how tired I am at that point, and decide whether I'm going to keep going or not. Hey, Tatters. You're a good kitty. You're a very, very good kitty, buddy. How about we time lapse and assemble, huh? Oh, sorry. I just nailed you in the nose. Did I make you sneeze? Did I bump your nose and make you sneeze? I'm sorry. Killed the battery again. Let's turn this on. I gotta say, it finds the BMS really quickly. 52.45, so as with the other two packs, pretty much in line. What is the voltage deviation? 0.01, 0.008. Not bad at all. Change this to BMSC, and there it is. So let's turn it off. Halfway done. I know I can't finish tonight because I don't have enough of these nuts. I'm gonna have to make a trip out to find them. I'm really tired. I think I am going to call it a day now. Hopefully tomorrow after work, get these other three set up. All right, good night. Actually, before I go to bed, I know I'm not turning these on for a while. I wanna plug in the Edison connectors. Oh, that looks so cool. Yeah, I'm glad I did this before bed. Holy shit. I'm gonna do a community post to apologize for being so late, and also because I've just got to share this. This looks so damn cool. Now it's good night. Night. Day whatever. Let's keep going. All right, cable harness cleaned up. Battery D done. Let's do E now. Should I like just turn off the camera so you can have a little cuddle sesh? I'm gonna guess that's a yes. I'll be back in a minute. Tyler's got his fill of hugs and cuddles. Let's get back to finishing this battery now. All harnessed up. Let's boot it up, configure it, rename it. They're built. Let's get them connected. If anyone needs stacks and stacks of Dell cable management arms, let me know. I don't like using them, so I don't use them. It's not door skin, it's good enough. I'm not gonna know until I go to edit this video, but I think the battery died as I was doing the final connections. Murphy, go fuck yourself. We're done. It's all assembled. I still need to run a length of wire around the room to connect to the Quattro. This is such madness on toast. I'm very nervous about turning these on and seeing what kind of amperage transfer there's going to be. I think what I'll do is turn them back on one at a time, write down their voltages, and then I will probably try to connect, I'll come up with a connection strategy so that I'll connect battery X with Y and then whatever. I need to think about that. Look at this beast. Look at it. Look at it. Look at that. It's assembled. What a sexy beast this is. Ah. I'm the Digital Mermaid. God damn, are we close. I can't wait for the next one. Tomorrow's gonna be fun. Bye. What a thing of beauty. What an absolute beast. It's so close. It's so close. Wow.